Vladimir Putin said last week he was putting his nuclear forces on special alert when it started to become clear the majority of the world was supporting Ukraine. Well, talk of nuclear weapons got a lot of you guys rightfully concerned. But is Putin just bluffing? Well, according to the director of national intelligence, who testified at a public hearing today in front of the House Intelligence Committee, it's more like he's saber-rattling. Director Avril Haines said the intelligence community hasn't seen any different escalation in Putin's nuclear posture than we've seen from him in any other conflict situation.
Our analysts assess that Putin's current posturing in this arena is probably intended to deter the West from providing additional support to Ukraine.
She went on to say the assessment is Putin does not want to go head-to-head with NATO and the United States in a military sense, but does want to stop us from interfering in Ukraine because he's confident without our help, Ukraine will fall and his military will win. Now, the CIA director and DNI both confirmed Putin has become increasingly frustrated with his lack of progress in Ukraine and will likely double down on more brutal acts. Putin sees this as a war he cannot afford to lose, but he may shift what he sees as a win as he continues to suffer losses of his military and from these sanctions. Our intelligence agencies say the next few weeks are going to be particularly ugly. I've been warning it's coming, and today it's here. The president announced America would ban all Russian oil imports, natural gas, and coal, a move that House and Senate Democrats and Republicans support, fully knowing this will impact our gas prices. But what does it really mean? Yes, gas prices are high now, and yes, they will likely get more expensive in the coming days and weeks. How much more and for how long is really going to be up to Vladimir Putin and how much longer he wants to pursue this invasion of Ukraine, and how creative the United States and European countries can get in plugging the crude oil supply gap. As I have said before, oil supply disruptions in one part of the world can impact oil prices all over the world. So why can't America just pump more oil? Great question. The answer is we can. It's not a light switch, though, that you can just turn on and off. Oil production takes time to ramp up, and oil is primarily pumped by private companies on private land. Oil companies say the president has put up all this red tape and is pushing more clean energy and moving the country away from fossil fuels. And the president says the oil companies have the permits, they have the land, they have the right to drill, and they just aren't. He also said today any company who is found to be profiteering from this situation will be prosecuted. But regardless, we are still pumping oil in this country. Take a look at this graph from the U.S. Energy Information Administration of our oil production. You can see our peak right there. November of 2019, we were producing about 13 million barrels of oil in this country a day. That's a lot, but everyone else in the world was producing a lot at that time too. But you can see this dramatic dropout right there. May of 2020. Just think about where we all were in May of 2020. We were all at home. No one was driving. We were in a global pandemic. Though production still stayed steady till about March of 2021, where it started to ramp up. And our most recent data is December of 2021, where we were producing about 11.5 million barrels of oil a day in this country, which is similar to February of 2019. Now, as I told you last week in this video, Russia is not a large supplier of U.S. oil imports. In the last half of 2021, we were getting most of our oil from Canada by a long shot. You can see by December, though, Russia, we were only importing 90,000 barrels a day from them, which is a fraction of the 4 million plus we were getting from Canada every day. And yes, we can import more oil from other countries if we need to, and we've been doing that all along. But the problem remains, some of the countries that we'd have to turn to ramp up their production to help us out, like Venezuela and Iran, aren't necessarily much better for us to politically align ourselves with.